For our two-sample experiment, our group decided that we wanted to know whether or not gender played a role in the number of vegetables that they could remember under a minute. And from the gathered data, these are the results.
The data showed no outlier for the males, but showed an outlier of 27 vegetables for the females. Both graphs have bimodal trends. The median for the male graph is 13 vegetables and has a range from 5 to 22. The female graph has a median of 11 and a range from 5 to 27. Some confounding variables to consider are their diet and whether or not they eat a lot of vegetables, if they are vegetarians or vegans, and as well as people generally stick to foods that they are more familiar with.
How we chose our sample. We took a deck of playing cards. The way we determined who got the question is whoever got a black card from the deck, we asked the question. Then the people who got a red card, we didn't ask them. Basically a random number generator where black is 1 and red is 2. For our conditions,
because our sampling process was random, we could assume it was independence. Each sample has more than 30 successful samples, with males having 33 and females having 33. Since there are less than 660 students in Clark High School, we sampled 10% of the population.
Our statement for sampling is as follows. Hello, we are from Mr. Gregorich's 7th period stats class, and we would like to conduct a survey on vegetables. How many vegetables could you name under a minute? Please note, mushroom and fungi, herbs, and spices, as well as exotic vegetables or vegetables that aren't grown in America, won't be considered as vegetables, but certain fruits are acceptable.
Hello, we are from Mr. Gregorich's 7th period stats class, and we would like to conduct a survey. How many vegetables could you name under a minute? Please note, mushrooms, or fungi in general, herbs and spices, as well as exotic vegetables or vegetables that are not natively grown in America, won't be considered as vegetables for this survey. And if you're wondering, exotic vegetables mean like bok choy,
Okay.
herbs and spices mean like
Cinnamon.
yes, and all that lovely stuff. Okay, the time starts now.
Carrots, cucumbers, eggplant, zucchini. Cilantro. Oh no, that's an herb. That's an herb.
I cannot help you, I'm sorry.
A squash.
Squash, yes.
Squash.
Squash.
Oh my god, what's another vegan thing? Did I say zucchini?
Yes.
Pickles.
Pickles, yes, in a way.
Pickles, yes.
Still a vegetable.
Lettuce. Romaine lettuce. Iceberg lettuce.
Different species of vegetables.
In conclusion, what we
Okay,
found from
well,
this
lettuce,
data, there wasn't any gender
spinach.
bias for students at Clark High School in terms of knowing different types of vegetables that are natively grown in America. But when we graphed our results, it does show a bimodal trend for males and an outlier for females. This could mean that we could have a variability issue, meaning that our samples was either not large enough, there was a confounding variable that could have influenced the overall results, or there was an error in our sampling method. Nevertheless, from this data, more testing would be needed if we wanted to know whether or not your gender affects your knowledge of how many vegetables you can remember under a minute.